Assalamu alaikum and welcome everyone. So, over our last few lessons, we've been collecting all these little puzzle pieces, right? Well, today is the day we dump them all out on the table and put them together. This is our big review session, where you're going to see how every letter, every connection, and every sound just clicks into place. It's that aha moment where the whole picture of reading Arabic finally comes into focus. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off by setting the stage for our review. Then, we'll do a super fast recap of the letters themselves. After that, we dive into how those letters connect to each other, and then we'll add the sounds that bring them to life. To wrap it all up, we've got a little quiz to see what you know, and then we'll talk about what's next on your journey. Sound good? Let's get started.
Awesome. So I really want you to think of this less like relearning stuff from scratch, and more like that amazing feeling when you finally start snapping the puzzle pieces together. We're taking every single concept we've covered, the letters, their shapes, their sounds, and we're seeing how they link up. I promise, by the end of this, you won't just see a bunch of symbols. You'll see a beautiful, logical system for building words.
All right, let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. The absolute bedrock of everything, the letters. We're just going to do a quick rapid-fire run-through of that first group we learned. These are our core building blocks, so everything else we do today is going to rely on knowing these guys inside and out.
Okay, I'm going to say the name of each letter, and I want you to say it right back to me. Let's really focus on the sound. Ready? First up, we have Alif. Good. Then Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, and last but not least, Kha. Excellent. These 7 are a perfect starting point because they introduce us to the main families we're going to talk about today.
Now for the fun part. We stop looking at letters as these lonely, isolated shapes, and we start seeing how they act in a community. You know, in Arabic, letters don't like being alone. They want to hold hands. And that creates this beautiful, flowing script. And to do that, they have to change their shape just a little bit. But it's not random. It's actually a really smart system. Let's see how it works.
You have got to remember this concept. Most letters aren't just one shape. They're like little transformers. They have up to 4 different forms depending on where they are in a word. Isolated is when it's by itself. Initial is how it starts a word, ready to connect. Medial is when it's squeezed in the middle. And final is how it ends a word, and it usually looks a lot like its isolated form again.
So let's start with our first group, the super friendly boat family. This is Ba, Ta, and Tha. See how their basic shape is exactly the same? It's just a simple little boat. The only way you can tell them apart is by their dots. And that's a pattern you're going to see over and over again in Arabic.
Now look really closely here. See what happens when these letters are at the beginning or in the middle of a word. That big curvy boat shape? Gone. It turns into just a little bump, like a tooth, on the line. And why does it do that? Well, it's all about flow. It lets you write smoothly to the next letter. The only thing that tells you which letter it is are the dots. And then, at the very end of the word, boom, it gets its full boat shape back. See? So logical.
Okay, you're getting the hang of this. Now let's look at our next group, the throat family. Jim, Ha, and Kha. Their change is even bigger, but guess what? It follows the exact same logic. Get rid of the big parts to make connecting easier.
To connect, these guys do something pretty dramatic. They drop that entire big swooping belly at the bottom. Poof, it's gone. All that's left is the head on top, which sits right on the line ready to link up. And just like before, the dots are what tell them apart. Jim has a dot inside, Ka has one on top, and Ha has none at all. And then, you guessed it, at the end of the word, they get their full shape back.
And of course, we have to talk about Alif. Alif is one of those special letters, a one-way connector. It has one very simple rule. It will always connect to a letter that comes before it, but it will never, ever connect to the letter that comes after it. It just puts up a wall. And that's totally normal. It creates a little break right in the middle of a word sometimes.
So if you only remember one thing from this section, make it this golden rule right here. This is the master key. To keep everything flowing nicely on one line, the letters trim down, they lose their big tails, but what do they always keep? Their dots. The dots are like their ID card, they never change. If you understand that, you've pretty much cracked the code of written Arabic.
All right, we've built the skeleton of our words. We've connected all the letters, and it looks great, but it's quiet. It's time to give these letters a voice. Let's go over those little marks that you see above and below the letters, the ones that tell us exactly what sound to make. First up, the 3 superstars, the short vowels. The fatta is that little dash on top that gives us an ah sound, like in ba. The kasra is the dash on the bottom that gives us an I sound, like beer. And the dhamma is that little curly Q on top that gives us a U sound, like boo. Ba, bi, boo. Simple, powerful, and absolutely essential.
So what happens when there's no vowel? That's where the sukun comes in. This little circle is basically a stop sign for vowels. It tells you to stop. There's no ah, u, or e sound here. You just pronounce the plain consonant sound. So if you have an ah sound followed by a b with a sukun, you get ab. The sukun is what lets us build syllables.
Next up is the Shadda. This little guy that looks kind of like a tiny W is all about doubling. It's actually a really clever piece of shorthand. When you see a Shadda on a letter, it means you say that letter twice. The first time with a sukun and the second time with whatever vowel is on it. It saves you from having to write the same letter 2 times in a row.
And this shows you exactly what I mean. On the left, no shadda. It's just abba, nice and smooth. But look at the right side. That shadda on the ba changes everything. Listen to the rhythm. We pronounce the buzz sound twice. The first one closes the syllable, ab. The second one starts the next syllable, ba. Put it all together, you get that little pause and emphasis, abba. Can you hear that? That's the shadda doing its job.
And we can't forget 2 other huge concepts. First, the long vowels. This is how we stretch out a vowel sound. We follow the 2-beat rule. So instead of it's ah. Instead of e, it's e. And second is Tanween. That's when you see the vowel marks doubled up at the end of a noun. It's a special signal that tells you to add a hidden n sound at the end. N, in, or un.
Okay, you've been so patient, we've reviewed all the different parts, you know the letters, you know how they connect, and you know the sounds they make. I think you're ready. It is officially time for a quiz. This is where it all comes together. No pressure at all, just apply the rules we've talked about. You've got this.
All right, question number 1. Take a good look at this word.
Alif and Fatha, Ba with Shadda and Fatha.
What does that shadda tell you to do to the ba? Sound it out in your head. I'll give you a moment. Did you get it? The correct answer is
Abba. Abba.
the shadda on the ba means we say it twice. The first ba gets a sukun, which connects to the a and makes the syllable ab. The second ba gets the fatha, making the syllable ba. Put them together, ab, ba. If you got that, you are doing great. Okay, let's do one more. Look at this word. We've got a ba with a fatha, but then it's followed by an alif, and after that, a ta with a fatha. What does that ba, fatha, alif combo tell you to do? Think back to our 2-beat rule. How does that alif change the sound? Take a second.
Beta. 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 Beta.
Fatha at the end, which is just ta. So you put it all together and you get
Beta. Beta.
You have done an absolutely phenomenal job today. You just went through the entire core foundation of reading Arabic. You put that puzzle together and you saw how logical it all is. You should be really, really proud of yourself. So the big question now is, where do we go from here? Let's talk about your next steps.
Honestly, the single best thing you can do right now to keep this momentum going is to subscribe to the channel, Learn Arabic, Read Quran. If you subscribe, you won't miss any future lessons where we build on these skills and get into even more exciting parts of the language.
And hey, if this review really helped things click for you, do me a favor and hit that like button. It truly helps our community grow. And if you know anyone else who's learning, share this with them. Most importantly, ask questions. I read the comments and the community posts, so if anything's still a little fuzzy, just ask. We're all here to help each other out. You officially have the toolkit. You have the keys to unlock so many basic words that you see around you. The letters, the connections, the sounds, it's all in your head now. So I'm going to leave you with this final question. What word are you going to challenge yourself to read next? The adventure is really just getting started. Thanks for all your hard work, and I'll see you in the next lesson.